show you how it's done. So I know there's already a lot of videos on YouTube on the subject of ghost notes, but I think everybody learns differently, and it took me a while to pick up ghost notes. So I put together a simple and effective learning plan on how I learn ghost notes and how you can put together ghost note patterns and implement ghost notes in your playing style. With that being said, let's get started. Alright, so there's three main types of ghost notes that I use in my playing. Now, this whole training video we're going to be using this very simple, straightforward beat with your accented hit on every third. Now, your accented hit is the loud hit, and the ghost notes are going to be softer hits in between the accented hit. Now, the first ghost note I'm going to show you is the ghost note that comes before your accented hit. So, playing our beat, you're going to be playing your accent on every third. Now I want you to play one ghost note before the accented hit. So instead of playing, we play. Now, instead of placing the ghost note before the accented hit, I want you to place the ghost note after the accented hit. So instead of playing, we play. Now, after you get comfortable learning the ghost note before the accented hit, and after the accented hit, I want you to start playing a ghost note before the accented hit, and then after the accented hit, and it'll sound like this. Now play this in repetition, and once you get comfortable doing this, you can move on to step 2. Alright, so the next ghost note I'm going to show you is what I call the off-time ghost note. Now, the off-time ghost note is going to come after every downbeat of each measure. Now, the downbeat of each measure is the first hit of each measure, so it would be downbeat. Alright, so what I want you to do is play a ghost note after every downbeat and then play your accented hit, which would sound like this. Alright, now remember to play your ghost note a little bit softer than your accented hit, but once you get comfortable doing that, now you can start playing a ghost note before every downbeat. So play your accented hit and then play a ghost note before the next downbeat, which would sound like this. Now, once you get comfortable playing the ghost note before the downbeat, you can start playing a ghost note after every downbeat and then before every downbeat. And when playing it in repetition, it sounds like this. Now keep playing that until you get comfortable, and then once you get a good feel for that, you can move on to step 3. Alright, so the next ghost note I'm going to show you is what I call the double tap. Now, it's very similar to the off-time ghost note, but instead of playing just one off-time ghost note, you're going to double tap the ghost note before the accented hit. So to give you an explanation, instead of going like this, double tap the ghost note like this. Alright, so the first ghost note is the double tap after the downbeat. So just like I showed you right now, I want you to play 2 double tap ghost notes before your accented hit. Now after you get comfortable doing that, I want you to start doing a double tap ghost note before your next downbeat. So play your accented hit and then a double tap ghost note before your next downbeat, which would sound like this. Now, once you get comfortable doing that, I want you to start playing the double tap ghost note after the downbeat, your accented hit, and then a double tap ghost note before the next downbeat. And when playing in repetition, look how cool it sounds. So, after you get comfortable doing those 3 types of ghost notes, I want you to move on to the next step, and I'll show you how to add those ghost notes in different patterns to make more complex beats. Alright, so after you've learned the 3 basic types of ghost notes that I'm trying to teach you, you can start putting these ghost notes together in repetition to make cooler drum beats. So what I'm talking about is, instead of just playing one type of ghost note in your pattern, put the ghost notes together. So to start, I would like you to play the off-time ghost note with the ghost note before the accented hit. So first I want you to play the ghost note after the downbeat, the ghost note before the accented hit, and play that in repetition. So it would sound like this. Now once you get comfortable doing that, you can move on to doing the ghost note after the accented hit, and then a ghost note before every downbeat of each measure, which would sound like this. Now, after you get comfortable doing that, you can start playing both variations of the ghost note in repetition, and it makes a really cool drum beat, which would sound like this. Now, after you get comfortable doing that, you can move on to putting the double tap ghost note in there. So what you can start doing now is start playing the double tap ghost note after the downbeat, and then a ghost note before the accented hit. So play it like this. Alright, now after you get comfortable doing that, start putting a ghost note after the accented hit, and then do the double tap before the next downbeat. So play it like this. Now after you get comfortable doing that, start putting both variations of the ghost note together. So you're going to want to play the double tap after the downbeat, a ghost note before and after the accented hit, and then the double tap before your next downbeat. Now look how cool the drum beat sounds now. Now, after you get comfortable playing these variations of the ghost notes, you can start putting them together in different patterns. Now, I'd like to jump on my real drum set and show you how I apply this on my actual drum kit to give you a better understanding.